eminent thought leader and ideologue and editor of Thuglak, Sri S. Gurumurthy ji, Tamil Nadu State BJP Secretary Sri Rama Srinivasan ji, the eminent speaker, Sri Trichi Velu Swami ji, the fiery speaker just now who spoke, senior officials from Thuglak family, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends from media. Ellarukum vanakkam. Yene innya Tamili sondoguluku innapan pongala valuthukkal. Ongulai inda tai Tiruvilavil Sandipandi Mikka Mugichili Menagala Elluram Tamili Kalacharithan Sandhanagala India Sanduthudan Nanu Sarvadil Ennaku Mika Magilichi. Friends, pardon for my limited knowledge of Tamil. It's a great language. I cannot speak in Tamil language, but I was, since last 1.5 hours, I was listening to the lucid, effective, powerful communication language, according to Prime Minister Modi, the ancient language of human civilization, Tamil language. On auspicious occasion, on the eve of Pongal, I am here on the prestigious forum of anniversary of the great magazine Thuglak. Friends, I am happy to be here today on a platform that has been shaped over the years by people who believed in speaking plainly and questioning honestly. Thuglak has never been a space for Apulas. It has been a space where speakers are expected to think and to be questioned. The expectation itself is a sign of healthy working democracy. It is befitting that we gather around Pongal. Pongal is a festival grounded in realism. It celebrates effort, continuity, and responsibility. It recognizes that progress does not come from slogans, but from sustained work and from the humility to correct course when needed. Societies like harvests mature over time. Pongal also reminds us that something deeper about India. Across the country, the same astronomical transition is celebrated in different forms. Pongal in south, Bihu in east, Makar Sankranti across many regions. The names differ, the customs vary. This is the beauty of the Bharatiya civilization. But the spirit is the same. Thankfulness, renewal and harmony with Mother Nature. This is the idea of Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat. Unity in Bharat was never imposed. It has always been practiced and experienced. Diversity did not weaken this nation, it enriched it. Regional languages, traditions and practices became different expressions of a common civilizational realm. Long before unity was written into policy, it was lived through the Indian culture. And that anchoring is tested through questioning. It is exactly the reason why Thuglak matters today. In an age where opinions travel faster than thought, where volume is mistaken for conviction and outrage for engagement, Thuglak reminds us that democracy needs depth, not noise. It insists that ideas carry responsibility, that disagreement must be anchored in reason, that public life cannot be sustained by performance alone. Over decades, this forum has reflected that seriousness. The stage has heard voices from across Indian public life. Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, senior leaders, Sri L. K. Advani ji, Sri Arun Jaitley ji, and public thinkers like Sri Cho Ramaswamy ji and Sri Guru Murthy ji, each contributing in their own way to India's political and intellectual journey. Their presence here was never ceremonial. It reflected the importance of Thuglak as a forum where ideas are tested, not curated for comfort. Thuglak is not merely a magazine. It is a mosaic of thoughts, ideas and diverse perspectives. It is a public institution of democracy, one that belongs neither to power nor to opposition, but to readers of the Thuglak. Thank you, readers. And the institutional character was envisioned by one man, Sri Srinivas Raghavan Ramaswamy ji, our very own Cho Ramaswamy ji. If Thuglak represented a method of disciplined dissent, Cho represented its conscience. He was a Rajguru. Cho was fearless but never careless. He was spectacle of power but never cynical about the republic. He questioned every government of his time. Criticism was not accidental, it was deliberate. Cho believed that democracy weakens not when leaders are criticized, but when they stop being questioned seriously. What distinguished him from others was not what he said, but how he said it. For Cho, satire was not about making fun, it was a craft. It was a moral instrument. He was a Niyandi Methai. He used humor to expose contradictions, exaggeration to reveal truth, and irony to puncture self-importance. He criticized friends openly and acknowledged merit in opponent honestly. Cho understood journalism as a public responsibility, not personal performance. Thuglak under him carried views and positions that force readers to think rather than choose sides. That reflects deep democratic confidence. He believed those in government must be the most comfortable with questions because power without questioning weakens judgment. Democratic authority lasts only when it exercises restraint as much as strength. Even in his final days, Cho did not withdraw into a detachment. He remained alert, engaged, and accountable to public life. After Cho, Thuglak has been carried forward by Sri S. Guru Murthy ji, who has preserved its core ethos, independence, critique, and national interests while applying it to the contemporary challenges of economy, culture, and sovereignty. Cho life reminds us to the foundational democratic truth. Disagreement is meaningful only when it is rooted in responsibility. But what we increasingly witness today is not meaningful dissent, but a performance of despair. Across region, whether in Delhi or in Tamil Nadu, we see a familiar pattern. Some Araishul Varusu wave the constitution before television cameras and speak endlessly about democracy. Yet within their own walls, democracy is never allowed to enter. For them, leadership there is not earned, it is an inheritance. Election after election, the people of India have delivered their verdict, yet rejection has not produced introspection. Instead, it has produced a permanent state of anger where protest has become routine. Outrage replaced discussion and reform is treated as inconvenience. Born not with a silver spoon, but a golden one, they see leadership, inheritance as the same thing. From them, the nation is not a shared republic, but parampara atachi, ruled by surname, not service. When people refuse to endorse this mindset, theatrics follows. Selective constitutional sermons, manufactured outrage, careful stage victimhood. But no amount of performance can hide one simple truth: democracy belongs to people, not to families. What unsettles this disparate performance is simple reality. Teneri Kodaikaran has broken feudal barriers, rewritten political assumption, and emerged as a foremost leader of the modern India. Tamil Nadu understands this moment naturally because this land has never viewed power as an inheritance. It has viewed power as responsibility. Long before democracy became constitutional language, Tamil literature spoke of virtue, justice, restraint, ethical duty. Authority was measured not by lineage but by conduct. The Sengol symbolized this idea. It represented moral authority, the transfer of power bound by dharma. That is why the rightful place today is in Parliament of India, as a reminder that authority flows from responsibility, not entitlement. When authority forgets dharma, symbols like Sengol become uncomfortable reminders. Tamil Nadu's civilizational depth is inseparable from Sanatana Dharma, not as a slogan, but as a lived tradition. From Sirkundam near Ginji, where the presence of the 24 Tirthankar reflects an ancient Jain heritage, to the great Hindu temples that anchor Tamil sacred geography. This land has sustained spiritual plurality from centuries. Powerful kingdom, most notably the Cholas, nurture faith, philosophy, learning and cultural harmony. They did not see spirituality and statecraft as opposites, but as complementary forces that strengthen society. Tamil Nadu has been a custodian of India's deepest spiritual tradition. Vedantic Sampradayas, Yoga, Ayurveda, Siddha, Jyotisha, Vastu, Sanskrit learning, classical music and classical dance. The Cholas and Pandyas carried this shared Indian civilization from Kedarnath to Kanyakumari and even beyond the seas through temples, art and cultural exchange. Sanatana Dharma has always accommodated diversity, debate and dissent within the civilizational framework. And yet, despite this vast inheritance, we hear voices today that speak casually of erasing Sanatana Dharma, reducing it to caricature, even comparing it to diseases. It is strange that civilization, which observed debate for centuries, is now declared intolerance by those who cannot tolerate its very existence. At this point, one can only hope Mahaprabhu is kinder to them than their understanding of civilization has been. India, however, has always responded to civilizational confusion, not with noise, but with discipline. It was this instinct that Swami Vivekananda articulated at Kanyakumari, not as an end, but as a beginning. He saw the confluence. There he articulated a vision of India built not by force of agitation, but by character, discipline and service. This was not rhetoric ideal, it was a demanding ethic of self-restraint, duty and national responsibility. Nearly a century ago, Dr. K.V. Hedgewar transferred this ethic into an organized national commitment in the belief that national regeneration begins with the individual sustained through daily practice, sacrifice and service. It reflects a deeper Bharatiya instinct. The nation are built not only through power but through character. And this resonates deeply with Tamil civilization, where seva, restraint, collective responsibility have been moral imperatives rather than political instruments. Friends, Tamil Nadu's civilizational confidence has consistently translated into capability. With about 6% of India's population, the state contributes over 9% to national GDP. It leads in manufacturing, automobiles, textile, electronics and exports, and performs strongly on health and social indicators. Tamil Nadu is not merely a high-performing state, it's an economic gateway to India. In ports, industrial corridors, logistic network, manufacturing clusters and skilled workforce connect India to global value chains across East and Southeast Asia and beyond. What happens in Tamil Nadu does not remain regional. It shapes India's industrial credibility globally. As India became more deeply integrated into global supply chain, Tamil Nadu's role as a key gateway will be of strategic importance. In a federal democracy, such strengths grow through cooperation. Federalism works based within responsibility, travels to both directions. Tamil civilization has never confined itself to geography. It has traveled through scholarship, devotion, trade and ideas. The Tirukural is the finest example. It is a Tamil text but not a regional text. Its teaching on ethics, governance, restraint and human conduct belong to the humanity. That is why, under the vision of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, Tirukural has been consciously taken beyond language and region. Initiatives such as Kasi Tamil Sangamam reaffirm this civilizational continuum connecting Kasi, Kanchi, Madurai and Rameswaram as a living nodes of one cultural map. I recently had the privilege to visiting Madurai and Rameswaram, an experience that will stay with me forever. When Prime Minister spoke in Tamil at the United Nations, it was not symbolism. It was a statement that India's modern voice carries the depth of its ancient languages. Taking Tamil and Tamil heritage to the global stage is not only a cultural act. It is a statement of confidence about who we are and how we prepare the next generation. Because civilizations do not sustain themselves through memory alone, they do through education by widening access, deepening opportunity and building capability. This is a confidence in Tamil language, not dilution. Education is where culture meets policy. And when we search for answers that are both rooted and modern, we found them in the National Education Policy 2020. NEP 2020 reflects the vision articulated by Dr. Kasturirangan, restoring confidence, coherence and trust in India's civilizational intelligence while preparing learning from a modern world. I began with a simple truth. Children learn best in language they understand fast, their mother tongue. That is why NEP replaced the mother tongue at the entry of the early education, not as ideology, but as a pedagogy. Let me re-emphasize from this platform today, language is not a barrier. Language is a force multiplier. The three-language formula of NEP 2020 does not weaken the mother tongue of or our language. It protects it and then expands opportunity. Tamil is not threatened by learning another language. Tamil is strengthened when its children are multilingual, confident and globally competitive. Global research speaks for itself. Multilingual learners demonstrate strong cognitive flexibility, better learning outcomes and greater economic mobility. NEP reflects this evidence, not petty politics. Contrary to this, we must also be honest about one reality in Tamil Nadu. Over the last decade, enrollment in Tamil medium schools within the state has declined sharply. In the last 6 years, Tamil medium enrollment has declined by almost one-third, around 32%, from nearly 66 lakhs to under 45 lakh students as per UDI's data provided by Tamil Nadu government. During the same period, English medium enrollment in the state increased from about 55.2 lakhs to over 80 lakh students. Ignoring this reality will not revive Tamil. Improving quality, confidence and outcome will. That is the spirit of NEP, not compulsion, empowerment, not imposition. This approach is already delivering results. India's higher education enrollment has crossed 4.46 crore students, growth of over 30% since 2014. Women enrollment has increased from 1.57 crore to 2.18 crores, a rise of 38.4%. Most significantly, female gross enrollment ratio has risen from about 23% in 14-15 to nearly 29% today, remaining higher than male gross enrollment ratio for 6 consecutive years. Among the scheduled castes, enrollment has grown by 50% and among the scheduled tribe, 75%. The transformation is even sharper for young women. SC female enrollment has increased over 61%. ST female enrollment has over 96%. This is not symbolism. This is structural inclusion, and inclusion for us also means accessibility. This is why, under the vision of Prime Minister Modi, Indian languages are finding places in classroom, competitive examinations, digital platforms on a global stage. Over 100 scholarly publications on India's classical language have been produced and supported, covering works such as the Tirukkural, Tolokapiyam, Silva Pathakaram, and Manika Mekalai, with transition across India and foreign languages, as well as into Indian Sign Language. The objective is clear. Knowledge must travel across region, generations, and abilities without linguistic and physical barriers. NEP 2020 did not ask us to choose between identity and aspiration. India can and must have both. A healthy society must remain a space for ideas, not intimidation, not fear. Dissent within anchored in region strengthen democracy, but when dissent turns into destruction, it weakens it. So the question before us are simple and unavoidable. Are we debating to clarify or agitating to confuse? Are we questioning authority or rejecting accountability altogether? Are we expressing disagreement or normalizing intimidation? Social movements, including students' movements, have always mattered in India. They are expanded justice and challenge power when guided by restraint, discipline, and a sense of national purpose. And victim must ultimately be guided, and activism must ultimately be guided by the national interest. Nationalism and education are not opposing ideas. They are complementary. Education without national responsibility becomes rootless. National responsibility without education becomes shallow. A mature society learns to hold both together. Friends, Joe Ramaswamy would probably have concluded my speech to these thoughts-provoking questions. Are we building institutions strong enough to survive our own success? Are we adding to clarity or to confusion? These are not academic questions. They are questions of responsibility. India's future is demanding, but it is also deeply promising. That is why the call of Vikasit Bharat is not a slogan. It is shared responsibility to build without bitterness, to reform without resentment, to lead without arrogance. This responsibility does not belong to Delhi alone. It begins with institutions, with thinkers, with teachers, with citizens of every nook and corner of this nation. It begins with magnificent state of Tamil Nadu. It begins with us. It begins at Thuglak. This Bharatiyata, continuity with confidence, rootedness with openness. And if we remain true to the spirit, then the path ahead is clear. Bhalagara Tamil Nadu, Bhalagara Bharatiyam, Valga Tamil, Nandri.